Okay. Let me just check if it's all here. Okay. Looks like we're live. Cool. All right. Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Hashem, YAHAWASHI, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And through His Spirit, I wanted to get into a nice lesson to end off the Day of Atonement. Okay, I got the brother Ayash, Shalama, Haran, I'm now Allah, and the Zakwana Tazwan will be joining us soon. But yeah, we just want to go through the Spirit, as you can see in the title, The Great Test. Okay, and we were actually discussing this a little earlier today with the series of events that are going on. One of them mainly being the the article that came out with Bill Gates, talking about this whole digital ID situation. Okay, on top of that, if you've been paying attention, you can see, I believe it was either today, I think it was today that this guy, Jerome Powell, came out and gave another economic update as to what the Fed's plans are. Okay, which going back to when the Silicon Valley Bank had its whole situation, I remember, we were doing lessons on it. And I remember in particular the elder brothers, Rakhaya Kwam from London, and hey, Shalom Zakwan.
Shalom. Yahawashi, break it down.
And the elder Ariella from Dallas, they did a algorithm on it, and they were going into how you can gauge what the agenda or what the mindset of the Fed is if they continue to hike interest rates, okay, or if they say we're just going to stop and pull back. And if they continue to hike it, then you know that they're full force ready to crash this thing. So here we are at a place where they've already enacted and set up this FedNow system, which, as we've been saying, that FedNow system is not going to be designed to be used with the current flow of cash. It's a system implemented for more advanced use. Okay, so you got that going on, and also you got a lot of everybody can see it now. Pretty much, they're trying to bring a second wave of the stuff we experienced the past 2 years. Okay, so there's a lot of things brewing up that are getting prepared for this end of the year. Okay, and a lot of people are still in La La Land. After drinking 3 rounds of that thing, they're still in La La Land, and they don't see that right now the things these devils are coming with, pursuant to what Revelation 12 and 12. All right, they coming with great wrath. So that's pretty much the signs we're in, and everybody's about to be tested. So if Buzz got anything, you could just.
Khan, I got a quick precept. And to shalom to the Akwath and Akim that are listening. It's the book of Luke. Start off with this. Luke chapter 21. And we go to 30. What is it? 30. I'm gonna start at 29. It says, and he spake to them a parable. Behold, the fig tree and all of the trees, when they now shoot forth, ye see and know of your own selves that summer is now nigh at hand. All right, hey, and as Yahawashi is saying that, significance says you know of your own selves, right? And this is why it's so important to always continue to watch for the signs and continue to be abreast on what is going on, geopolitically. All right, how it links up to the scriptures, because this is how we know for our own selves. See, the Lord Yahawashi, he opened up those seals and he gave us that that knowledge and wisdom, right? The scripture tells you that he gave gifts to men, and part of those gifts is the knowledge and understanding of knowing what time it is. A lot of people don't know. They don't know how to gauge the season, right? Even Yahawashi, spoke to the Pharisees, right? He said, well, you can discern the weather, but you can't discern the times. So he says here, for your own selves that summer is now nigh at hand. So likewise ye, when ye see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of the Most High is nigh at hand, right? And Yahawashi is speaking to his disciples. He's not speaking to the whole world. This was a conversation that he was having with his men. This was a private conversation. So he was telling, and this is the same, position that we're in right now, right? When we see all these things come to pass, we know that the kingdom of the Most High is at hand, and a part of those things is what? That great test, right? The hour of temptation, Jacob's trouble, okay, the collapse of society, right? Societal norms, so to speak. All right, the things that we have been constantly speaking about through the spirit of YAHAWASHI, they're now taking shape. They're now formulating, and it's becoming clearer and clearer how these end time prophecies are going to manifest. Verse 32: Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled. All right. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. And that's another thing that we have to take into consideration, that Yahweh said that when you start to see these things happen, understand that it's not going to be happening now and then finishing in a different generation, finishing 40, 50, 60, 70 years from now. He said this generation shall not pass till all be fulfilled. And that's why things are happening so quickly. That's why multiple different what's the word I'm looking for, multiple different movements, legs are moving at the same time, because all these things have to happen in this generation. So it can't be one thing is happening then 20 years from now then another thing happens. No, it got to be the digitalization of the economy, then the World War III brewing up, nation versus nation, Israel waking up, right? Because Israel, the elect waking up, Israel, the Valley of Dry Bones waking up, is also part of end time prophecy. So it says 34: Take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, so that day come upon you unawares. That's also another warning that the Lord is giving to his disciples, right? The men, starting with the men, of course, the prophets, the watchmen, and then also the women and the other brothers that are listening. We gotta be says what? Take heed to yourselves. Don't be overcharged. Don't be too concerned about the things of this world, right? Because as Paul said, that the fashions of this world are fadeth away, they passeth away, and a lot of people, they're going to end up getting caught with their pants, down on their ankles, aka they're gonna be found naked, because they're so concerned about this world. They're so concerned about the affairs of this world, the cares of this world. Verse 35, it says, For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and stand before the Son of Man. And that's why we do what? We rehearse the righteous acts. We're coming to the end. Actually, I think right now actually is the end of the Day of Atonement, right? We're doing these things as a preparation so that we can be found worthy, making ourselves ready as a bride for the bridegroom. All right, being those wise virgins, so that when Yahawashi returns, we are found worthy to escape these first. Before he returns, we are found worthy to escape all of the carnage, all of the visitation of Yahweh, Bashim Yahawashi, and then ultimately when he comes, that we can be told, well done, my good and faithful servant. So I just wanted to add that in. Pass it.
God. Also got a precept. Yeah, this is First Peter chapter 1, start from verse 13. It says, Wherefore gird up the loins of your minds, be sober, and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you. Oh, was here. I just an echo. That it be, and hope to the end for the grace that is brought unto you at the revelation of Yahawashi HaMashiach. And continuing on what the Zaquan was talking about, it goes into preparation. Part of the reasons why we search these things out and bring it out is so that the more we hear that the end is at hand, the more we take our preparations very, very seriously. Because when you read through the scriptures, the Most High doesn't take too kindly on a servant who half-asses his job. When you serve Yahweh Bashim Yashai, you gotta serve him in fullness. You gotta do everything in completion. So the more we hear these things, the more we're watching, and the more we're bringing these things out. It's supposed to like the scripture says, gird up our loins, the loins of our minds and our heart. And if you actually go through the scriptures and consider all the great destructions that YAHAWASHI brought upon mankind, those that were saved were those that were in the phase of preparation. Those that were very serious in their preparation, and that's how they girded up their loins and their hearts. Read off the scriptures, the Passover. The Most High told us what to eat with our loins girded, because at that moment something big was going to happen, and that we got to get ready to execute what it is that we've been preparing all this while. Same thing with Lot. Noah. How was he girding up himself? How was he preparing? He was building an ark, and he was making sure that he did everything in completion. Because he wouldn't have been saved if he built the ark and then he'd be like, I don't think that it's going to rain, so I won't go into the ark. Well, then he would die. So preparation and completion. So the more we hear these things out, the more we bring these things out, don't just listen to it. Make sure that it helps you, I guess, like fully prepare. That's pretty much all I'm trying to say. Like preparation. The most important thing of all is preparing for the return of YAHAWASHI, to preparing for the marriage. All right. So that's pretty much it. Preparation. All right.
Go on. Aaron, you got something?
Yeah, I was going to add on to that point the brother said, and being today, all right, being that today is a day of atonement, that is also part of the preparation, that at this point only the elect are aware of, right? Today's a very spiritual day. You know what I'm saying? When you look at all the things that's happening, even this week alone, right? We know that Esau, Edom is always doing things on the left-hand side, and that's when the Lord always combats it on the right-hand side. So going back to the point the brother made about, how Noah was making preparation, all right, we're doing the same thing, and partaking in the Day of Atonement is also, all right, a part of that preparation, okay, especially looking ahead, seeing the things that we're about to enter into, right, the time of Jacob's trouble, right, all these different things, even the Zaquan mentioned, right, is going to be a great test, and this is all part of that preparation towards that great test, okay, and part of that test, YAHAWASHI also mentioned, if I can pull that precept real quick, right, being that I actually mentioned, all right, Noah, all right, this is the book of Luke chapter 17, start off at 26. It says, actually, let's start off at verse 25. It says, but first must he suffer many things and be rejected of this generation. So going back to what the Zaquan mentioned about this being that generation where the Lord, all right, promised his last end of day judgment. Okay, yeah, it started 2,000 years ago, but that same generation is back here again, including the prophets, all right, the disciples, and so on and so forth, all right, all the way up to the unbelievers, okay? So it's just like how they rejected YAHAWASHI, they're rejecting us today, all right, because we come in the spirit of YAHAWASHI, okay, Yahweh Bashem YAHAWASHI, all right? So Luke chapter 17 and verse 26, it says, and as it was in the days of Noe, which is Greek for Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man, okay? Verse 27, it says, they did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noe entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. Okay, now one is going to say, oh, well, what's wrong with drinking and eating and giving into marriage? All right, but again, the reason why YAHAWASHI mentioned this is because these are things that are attributed to the world. Okay, people in the world today, this is their mindset. They're not preparing like what we did today, the Day of Atonement. Most people are not in that kind of spirit. Okay, they're rather drinking and eating instead of fasting today, right? So it's all part of their mindset, all right, that goes with the eating and the drinking and the marrying and so on and so forth. It's all the spirit in which you're doing these things in. Okay, if it's of the spirit of the world, you're doomed. Okay, just like those who are back there, the same spirits are back here again. The book of Ecclesiastes tells us that there is no new thing under the sun, right? So verse 28, it says, likewise also as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Okay, so we're looking at a destruction. Number one, it was by water. And then the Lord made an example out of Sodom and Gomorrah with fire. Okay, and that's to set the tone for what's about to happen here in modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, and it doesn't take a genius to see that America is, all right, modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, man. All right. It says, verse 30, even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. Okay, so Yahawashi's revelation is going to come with power and with great glory. All right, but it's also going to come with destruction that's never been felt, all right, upon this face of the earth ever, ever, ever before. Okay, it's going to be a one-time thing, and it's going to set a precedent for eternity. Okay, so you know it's going to be devastating. But again, this is all things that's going to happen as a result of people's actions. Okay, the norm in America today is straight up wickedness. All right, wickedness has become the norm. All right, so you already know, all right, that spirit of rebellion is going to be quenched by YAHAWASHI and his great wrath. Okay, so we're all going to go through that test. But those who prevail through the test, which are the elect, starting with the 144,000, all right, those are the ones that Yahushua is going to come back and deliver. But the rest is over with. All right, you got it, brother.
Yeah, just got a quick point just to add on to that. I'm pretty sure you brothers know the saying, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So also, I'm pretty sure there's also a gym saying, no pain, no gain, which we went through the spiritual pain of having to fast, but we're going to get the spiritual gains for later down the line. So just pretty simple, straight to the point.
John, yeah, all these things are gonna play a role, ultimately in the times we're coming into, because just like brother's been talking about, when you are, or really anybody that's in, whether it's like boxing or a certain kind of sport or whatever it is that actually requires physical training, you start to, obviously when you first start doing something, it's difficult at first, but everything is difficult at first, but over time you start to do certain things, and then it becomes almost second nature, but you forget how important of a role that plays. When you are, maybe your trainer tells you to do a certain thing a particular way, and you might not understand why it is that he's saying do it this kind of way. But when you're actually in the midst of, whether it's the match or the battle or whatever it is, you realize that it's easier for you to move a certain kind of way or perform certain things. And then you start to remember this is because of all the stuff that you endured during your training or your preparation. So much so that now you can freely move like it's second nature and do things that others can't. Now on a carnal level, for example, fasting is actually good. It's actually good for your health. But a lot of these people don't do that, and their body does not know, what it's like to fast. So their body doesn't know how to react. Obviously, for all of us, when we first started, like your first day of atonement must have been hell, because you're like, shit, like your body's not used to this, unless maybe you're working or doing something where you forget. But even then, you can grab water to drink or so on and so forth. But when you're consciously aware that you have to go a certain period of time abstaining from these things, your body's not used to that. But the more you do it over time, your body now knows, okay, I know what mode to go into in order to conserve energy and still be able to function as I should. Now, to the point that Haran you were making, which was that this world, like you said, when you read the precept about drinking and giving in marriage, ultimately the Lord told us to be fruitful and multiply, right? He made all these herbs of the field for us to eat and drink. But these people do it, like you said, with the mindset that this is going to be life forever. They put the Most High behind them. They continue on in their wicked ways. And then on top of that, they indulge in these activities, okay, which is what's off, right? So I got a quick precept. This is Isaiah 56:12. It says, "Come ye, say they, I will fetch wine, and we will fill ourselves with strong drink, and tomorrow shall be as this day, and much more abundant." And this is pretty much the mindset that a lot of people, are in. Okay. So when them being in this mindset, when the time comes, they're not expecting chaos or destruction or anything to that effect. So when we tell them, yo, the Lord, this is about to happen, you got to do this, they don't see why they should do it. In their mind, they're going to go to work on the weekdays. Friday is going to come. They're going to get paid. They're going to go to the club or whatever. They're going to have a hangover on Saturday. They're going to go back Saturday night. Like, that's their mindset. Vanity and repeat, vanity and repeat. Okay. But ultimately, when this comes, it's going to be as a shock to them because this is their thought. And the scriptures tell you that when the Lord takes away that there shall be no strong drink, the mirth of the land is going to cease.
Right.
So coupling this precept, I have another one. This is Psalms 49 and 11. It says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Now, typically we attribute this to Esau, but this is a mindset that is now infiltrated into Jake. And that's why they're getting comfortable in this place, and they can't see themselves. They definitely can't adhere to Micah 2 and 10 of arising and departing. Here, you got Israelites that want to stay here. You had Jake's talking about they want to vote, they want Trump back in, you know, as king or whatever, you know, as though they don't realize that it's two sides on the same coin, you know. So whether these are the same people that would fight you for Biden. I remember everywhere you looked before that time of election, every commercial was about go and vote. I mean, everybody, celebrities, everybody jumped on the bandwagon, said go and vote, go and vote. You got to get this madman Trump out of there. And now this is what they're complaining about. And really, the more important matters are on their way. It's like an avalanche of hell that the Lord is rolling down, and these people are partying in the village while the avalanche is coming. That's it.
Yeah, I got a precept to back that up. Speaking about the wicked of our people, Amos chapter 9, verse 8. It says, behold, the days of Salaki, behold, the eyes of Yahweh power are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord. All right, and we know that this originally was speaking about the house of Israel, but you know, prophetically speaking about Babylon the Great, because this is the sinful kingdom. All right, this is the kingdom where sin is uplifted, is promoted, is actually rewarded, whereas righteousness is downtrodden, is spoken as evil. Okay, you know, doing good is evil, and doing evil is good in this society. So when the Lord sees all these things, man, and that's why the Lord has this place as that it's going to have this place as that as the memorial of what not to do or how not to live, right? Verse 9, it says, for lo, I will command and will sift the house of Israel among all nations, because you have Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay, that's why, you know, this isn't about a color thing. You know, this isn't about, you know, what you look on the outward. Even YAHAWASHI told Samuel that, you know, as when he went to go and anoint David, right? And the Lord is raising up the tabernacles of David. He said, what? Don't look on him for his outward appearance, for the Most High doesn't see and doesn't judge how man sees and judges. So being in this truth, being in this faith, you got to be a spiritual person. And that's why the true prophets of YAHAWASHI, we're not concerned about, you know, whether or not you look like a so-called Black or Latino, right? If your spirit bears witness with, if your spirit bears witness with these spirits that you are the child of the Most High, that's all that matters. Okay, so it says, I will sift the house of Israel among the nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. Right, that least grain speaking about who? The elect, the 144,000 and 1/3. The Lord, as YAHAWASHI said, that no man can pluck him out of his hand. You know, so there is not an elect that is insignificant to the Lord, man. Even if you do 100 videos, you got 20,000 subscribers, or if you do, you know, minimum videos, which brothers shouldn't be doing minimum videos, but if, you know, certain brothers got different measures of faith, but all in all, the Lord knows your heart, and if you're a part of the elect, that's all that the Lord cares for his elect. All right, whether you the smallest elect or the greatest elect, metaphorically speaking. It says, and all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. Okay, and that goes back in time to what Bakar was saying, that and what Aharon was saying, as far as like they were eating, they were drinking, they were giving in marriage. They're in that mindset of this is just going to continue forever. You know, there's not going to be any type of bad that's going to come and completely change the fabric of society. yeah, there might be a fire here, or there might be a tornado there, or it might be this, but you know, we're still going to be able to do things as we are typically status quo used to, accustomed doing it. And the Lord showed people 2-3 years ago how in an instant that could change, you know, with the whole lockdowns and the, you know, the CV back then, that everybody was completely taken, you know, by surprise on how society shifted so quickly, right? Which that was a prelude, you know, for a twofold. That was a precursor or a test for the elites to see how they can, you know, do a simulation and see how people will just fall right in line. But also, really, that was a test from YAHAWASHI as well, man. You know, that was a scourge, so to speak, for amendment, right? And the Lord gave that to us for us to see. I always see it as like a what do you call it? Like a scrimmage or like a prep. You know, you take the PSATs. That's what that was, because you had a lot of people that was in a position or thought they were going to be in a position to where it was either going to be you take the dragon or you don't have a job, you know, and you've seen certain men, right, namely General Yohanan ISUPK, telling his congregation to go, you know, go take that juice, right? But the true men of YAHAWASHI, what they say, what stand firm, don't do that, you know. We reverted back to the scriptures, back to the herbs, you know, doing the things as the scripture says. And that's ultimately having faith in YAHAWASHI to deliver us from these things. Even, you know, brothers, you know, did get sick, but it was still, you know, hey, as Job said, though he slay me, yet shall I maintain my trust in him, right? It says the evil shall not overtake or nor prevent us. So you got a lot of people in that mindset that think that these things won't actually overtake you. You know, all hell won't break loose, and that's why a lot of people are going to fail this test. You know, that's like thinking that that a test is, you know, you're in school and a test is going to come, and you like, oh, you know, I'm gonna pass this. You know, I don't really gotta pay attention. I don't really gotta study, right? I know what it is, right? But then all of a sudden you get that test, and then you don't know that shit looking like a blurry, looking like Mr. Krabs. That's how you looking at it. You're like, yo, you trying to look at somebody else, yo, what you got over there? And as what's that in the book of I think that's Second Esdras. Let me pull that up real quick. Second Esdras, the 7th chapter, I believe. Where did he say that at? Second Esdras 7. So bear with me. Okay, I think Second Esdras 7 verse. I'm gonna start at verse 41. It says, "Even so now, seeing corruption is grown up and wickedness increased, and the righteous have prayed for the ungodly, wherefore shall it not be so now also? He answered me and said, This present life is not the end where much glory doeth abide. Therefore have they prayed for the weak." Right? See, back then you could pray for the weak because this present life, you're praying for them for this present life. You was praying for them that, you know, that things that they can make it through that present time. But now there's nothing else after this except the kingdom. So it's either you the elect or you not. So that's why we're not praying for the non-elect. We're not praying for people that don't believe in YAHAWASHI, because there's nothing else after this except the kingdom. And it's either you are with and you're on the side of the Lord or you're not. So the lines are drawn now. We can't pray for somebody, oh, you know, I hope they, you know, get their act together down the line. Ain't no down the line. It's either now or never. Or never. So it says, Salakia, just jump. I'm gonna read verse 41 again. It says, "Even so now, seeing corruption is grown up, wickedness increased, and the righteous have prayed for the ungodly. Wherefore it shall not be so now also. He answered me and said, This present life is not the end where much glory doeth abide. Therefore have they prayed for the weak. But the day of doom," which that word doom means judgment, "shall be at the end of this time. and the beginning of the immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past, intemperance is at an end, infidelity is cut off, righteousness is grown, and truth is sprung up. See, that's what comes next. So it's either you in a mind state of being an immortal, right? You're in a mind state of having temperament and self-control, which these people in this world don't got, right? The Day of Atonement, like we were just speaking about. You tell somebody, yo, you can't eat or drink now for 24 hours. Oh, hell no, I can't do that. I can't. Nah, I got to drink something. I got to eat something. No self-control, you know? Because they're what? Their God is their belly. So they live off of pleasing the flesh. So it says, then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed, nor to oppress him that have gotten the victory. Okay? So, hey, that's why Yahawah Bashim Al-Shai told, what was that in Jeremiah? Those are for the death to the death. Those are for the sword to the sword. You know, hey, and it's you become more and more numb, even to our own, loved ones. And we pray that, the Lord has mercy on them. But the Lord said he's going to have mercy on whom he has mercy on. Only thing that Jeremiah, the 3rd chapter says, well, he's going to save 2 of a family, 1 of a city. So whoever is the elect, that's who the Lord's elect is. That's the true family. That's the true first family that the Lord is concerned about, man. That's who YAHAWASHI came to lay his life down for. So that's basically it on that.
Right, and that's the spirit, because those are the only ones who are actually going to make it through this great test. Yahushua already told us in Revelation, the 3rd chapter, that that he's going to keep us in the hour of temptation, right? Because of our patience, we've kept all right, his patience. So he's also going to keep us in the hour of temptation. And when you go into that word "keep," I believe the word is shamar, which means to guard, right? So we're going to have angels. Daniel, the 12th chapter, right? It talks about how the Lord said he's going to send his angel, all right, the great prince Michael, all right, to come down and to protect his people, which are the Israelites, right? But Zaquan, you made a point, all right, which is exactly why we do the things we do and say the things we say and believe, all right, so wholeheartedly in his truth. All right, I got a quick precept. All right, it's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 7 and verse 16. It says, "Therefore pray not thou for this people, neither lift up cry nor prayer for them, neither make intercession to them, for I will not hear thee." Okay, Jeremiah 7 and 16. So ultimately, when we think of all these judgments that's going to come, the test, all these different things, we got to also remember that the Lord, there's got to be people on this earth who the Lord's going to come down to cook, right? He's not going to save everyone like these so-called Christians believe. There's going to be people in the movie that get destroyed. They get killed. They get completely annihilated by the wrath of Yahawah Bashim Yahushai. And those are the same people, when we read the book of Proverbs, the 1st chapter, that when the calamity comes, they're the ones who are going to be making intercession and trying to cry unto the Lord. They're going to be looking for the men of the Lord, like you were saying, Zaquan, how when a test comes, then everyone's like, oh, yo, the whole Mr. Krabs. You know what I'm saying? Now the question is, yo, we learned this? Yo, I didn't know we went over this. Yeah, because you weren't paying attention when class was in session. And those are the people in the IUICs and the ISUPKs. When class is in session, they're not paying attention. They're the ones who, the class clowns, who say, yo, my niggas, and my nigga this, and my nigga that the dumb nigga shit. We all went through that in school. Those same niggas always fail. They always go to summer school. And the nerdy ones that everybody picks on and they ain't shit niggas and they get no girls. And those kind of people are always the ones that you look 20, 30 years later on, they're the ones who are having the high positions. And everybody's like, yo, I went to school with him. Oh, I went to school with him. Yeah, those are the ones that the Lord is going to come and crown. All right, it tells you that in the book of 2nd Ezra, right? Those men that stood so stiffly for the name of Yahawah Bashim Yahushai, right? So there's a different spirit and a different energy that those men have, right? Starting with the 144,000 men, okay? And that's what translates or transfers to the rest of the nation, because the 2/3 are going to come through us. All right, Lord willing, we are those men. But where do we get that spirit from? It comes from the Heavenly Father down to Yahushua and then down to the men of the Lord. Okay, so that's a transition, and is only going to continue as the kingdom continues. You know what I'm saying? But before we get to the kingdom, there's going to be people who are going to be destroyed. Our own people who are going to be destroyed, because it's our own people who put the Lord to death. It's our same people who are rejecting and rebelling against the word of YAHAWASHI. Okay, so when the judgment comes, we're not going to be, putting ourselves out there to try to protect you. What do you mean? No, it doesn't work that way. All right, like Zaquan said, and as the scriptures say, that the Lord said he's going to have mercy on whom he's going to have mercy on. So that's why we also pray for mercy, because we don't know if the Lord going to have mercy on us, right? So we constantly pray to YAHAWASHI, Lord, have mercy on us. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way we're going to make it out. And partaking in the Day of Atonement is part of seeking the Lord to what? To have mercy on us, right? Lord, pardon our spirits, pardon our sins, pardon our faults, and then give us a clean slate so that, you can have what? Mercy when the time comes. You know what I'm saying? But you got it.
Hey, Khan, it's interesting how you mentioned that how in school the nerdy ones are the ones that really people pick on them X, Y, and Z, but later on they turn out successful because they focused on what was important, right? Now it shows you how backward society is, because really when you go back a couple more years ago, by a couple more I mean a good 1,000 or so years ago, really those that were so-called nerds were the ones that were actually in the roles that today the jocks or the cool kids are really in. And that's because back in the ancient world, people valued wisdom and people that were focused and people that had that passion and that drive for success over the people that were looked at as rascals and hooligans and so on and so forth. But today they actually look at the rascals and hooligans as so-called bad guys and shit as like the cool kids. But in the ancient world, those were the ones that were that would eventually grow up to be those base men, those sons of Belial, just walking around in the marketplace and in the alleyways looking for trouble. So it shows you how backwards this whole thing is. But ultimately, what the Lord is about to do is a complete reset. He's about to bring, and then it's going to start with that test. Okay, he's bringing that test, and everybody's going to be tested on a major level. And the thing about it is, it ain't going to matter whether you knew the truth or not. The test is going to be the same. Everybody's going to be tested with the MOTB. You're going to be tested when the famines come, because guess what? All the food processing plants that they've been destroying, that's all piling up. Okay, and that's all going to start having an effect. Wintertime, things are cold. And what makes all of this worse is a lot of people are not expecting it. They don't know what to do. They don't even understand the test to even know how to pass or to study for it. So you're going to have people that know the Israelites, people that don't know the Israelites. Everybody's going to get caught up in it. But the scriptures say that the elect is going to be delivered out of it. So even we're going to go through it, but it's going to be okay, because the Lord is going to guide us to know what to do, where to go, how to make it through. But for the rest of these people, in school, guess what? Regardless of whatever them professors said, they always had favorites, which were the ones that were doing good in their class. And if they came around, I remember there would be some teachers that they'll come around and they'll see you, struggling on a question. But if you one of them students they like, they'd low key drop a hint, as they walking around. They keep walking around looking at your paper and probably dropping that hint in there, and that's how the Lord deals with his elect. He'll be like, and they walk past and shit. I see you. So you always had those in there. But ultimately that's what the Lord is going to do for his elect. Whatever you may be going on the wrong path, that he gonna get you out of there. Get him up out of there.
Hey, yeah. Before I pass, I believe Ayash or Shalman wanted to say something. A brother posted a beautiful comment, and that's part of the scriptures, exactly describing what role the men of the Lord are supposed to play, because we see the way the world is now, and imagine if the world was to see us in our true form, we wouldn't be able to do the work we do. We think we'll be able to be free to go out there and teach like we do now? No, hell no. You see what I'm saying? So there's a book of 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 27. It says, but the Most High hath chosen, and this is by a fight of faith. All right, Shalom. 1 Corinthians 2 verse 27, it says, but the Most High hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. Right? And that's why you got all these so-called scholars and high level people who are coming to our level. They're on YouTube now. Like, can you believe that? You got doctorates in it, and you went to this highly esteemed yeshiva school or whatever Jewish school y'all niggas be going to, right, to learn about the Talmud, and now you're gonna come up to battle regular men on YouTube, you know, Quaz Brown and all these different people, Vocab, all these different people, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what happened? You know, why don't you do this to the churches? Why don't you go to these churches and actually go battle Joel Osteen or all these highly esteemed people in the world? Why don't you do that? Why are you coming to regular men in the highways and byways who have regular YouTube channels that get taken down all the goddamn time, right? Speaking about the truth. We're not talking to you. We're talking about our people. We're talking about the Lord to our people. You see? But that's how you know we got the truth. It says to confound the wise, so they're confounded, right? That's why they're like, man, this truth is so fascinating. What these men are doing is fascinating because it's bugging out their minds. You know? It says, and the Most High hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. Okay, so again, we are not looked at in high esteem unless you have a spiritual eye, which we all do. That's why we're able to see the men that we are, the men that we listen to, right? The truth, the concept of YAHAWASHI, right? The world does not acknowledge the Lord like that. To them, it's foolishness. It's like you believe in a chariot is going to come down and deliver you guys, or you believe that you believe that you guys are the Israelites. You know, it's like they hate what we say so much. It's become there's a disdain, all right, towards the truth. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know we got the truth, man, because we know that we're living in a wicked world. We're living in a wicked society. We're living in a wicked generation. You know, and we have many examples in the scriptures that shows us that we are indeed living a repeat performance of wicked versus righteous. You see what I'm saying? And ultimately, the righteous will prevail against the wickedness. You see what I'm saying? But brothers got it. Brothers got it from here.
John, I got a precept. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 18. It says, for the preaching of the cross is to them that perish. In other words, those that are destined to die. It is to them foolishness, but unto them which are saved, it is the power of God, right? And that's pretty much it. How the brothers keep bringing it up. We live in a world where it's kind of like the idiots outnumber the intelligent people, you know. So it's like there's a famous well, it's not very famous, but there's a proverb that talks about how the smoke is always at the mercy of the wind. Now, the wind, you know, it occupies more space than the smoke, you know. So it's always, the smoke is always at the mercy of the wind. Wherever the wind blows, the smoke they gotta follow the wind, pretty much how it is. And you know, that's pretty much how it is. And that's also why brothers keep bringing up examples of how those that are focused and in school, and those that are how do I put it? Those that are serious about their schoolworks, they always they always laughed at, they you know, and always alienated. And that's because what, they are always outnumbered by the foolish people, you know. So seeing as how do I put this? Like we are sort of like the smoke, you know, and we're like surrounded by a lot of foolish people. So what happens was that these damn, it's like it. Right. So it's like we're outnumbered, but it's okay because we have YAHAWASHI on our side, you know, and that's pretty much what makes everything better. So when you have to go through these things, when you have to suffer these fools, when you have to listen to all these people come against you, like the brothers brought out great so-called great men in this world, you know, they've gone to all these prestigious schools, they have all these prestigious titles, they're held in high esteem. When they come up against you, it's okay, because although we're few in numbers, we're made great because we are on the side of YAHAWASHI, and that's pretty much what should comfort you, and what you should think upon daily, to make sure that in this preparation that we're doing for the great test, you always have your hands on the plow, and that you're doing everything to the best of your ability to pass this great test. And that's pretty much what I had to say, you know, to add on to that. You know, so like it for the pause, I got some crazy things going on. So like it for that.
Oh, good. I think Shalom, you had signed. I think I'm now also has signed.
I'm not gonna go.
Khan, I want to add on to the brother Ayash's point a little bit. When he said the people of this world is against us, but it's okay for the people of the world to be against us, because ultimately the Lord has our back. He said he will not leave us comfortless. So what more reason is there to not have faith in the Lord. And also, I had a point on preparation. Uh, this is James 4:8. Draw nigh to the Most High, and He will draw nigh to you. And how do we draw nigh to the Lord? It's by fasting, by doing the works now. You know, that's how we're preparing. That's how we're, as Apostle Ramla would say, we're depositing into our spiritual bank account. And when Jacob's trouble is here in the hour of temptation, when we really need the Lord, that's when we can withdraw from our spiritual bank account, and the Lord has us. The Lord will guide us through the way. So there's really nothing to worry about.
God,
Slaki, I just want to because I'm watching it live and there's a lot of it's
the audio.
yeah no not the audio but like the visuals itself. You know, it's kind of cutting off and on, and I just want to know if it's my Wi-Fi or not. But Slaki for that.
God, all good. I'll confirm for you. Shalom, did you have something?
Yeah, just to add off of what the brother Allah said, this is I got Revelation chapter 12 verse 6. I just want to go into the definition of a word there, but I'll read it. It says, "And the woman fled into the wilderness," which the woman represents Israel when they fled into the interiors of Africa, and it says where she had a place prepared of the Most High that they should feed her there 1,203 square days. And when you go into that word prepared, I believe the word there is hitso matzo, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm saying it correctly. Yep. And it says the B definition says to prepare the minds of men to give the Messiah a fit reception, and secure his blessing. So basically going into what this time period that we're doing now is what? Preparing our minds for Yahawashi's return, preparing ourselves. Because the same thing, like, think of it like what Aharon said with like people who getting into the wines and the drinking, they prepare themselves for that, right? Don't when they have a party or whatever, they get the dress, they get the wine, they set up the date for whatever the wedding's going to be and things like that. So we don't know when Yahushua is coming, but we see the signs. We're like, okay, things is getting closer. We're preparing ourselves. We're getting ourselves more serious. We're tightening up, right? I believe I heard Elder Apostle Tahar say that. Don't lighten up, tighten up. So as things is getting closer, we're getting ourselves more prepared for Yahawashi's return. And that's happening here in America.
I got a I got a precept going and tying into the preparation, the book of Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 2, verse 1. I'm gonna read it in the GNTD, which is the Great News translation. So it says, "My child, if you are going to serve the Lord, be prepared for times when you will be put to the test." So, you know, that ties right into the title, right? Be prepared for the times when you will be put to the test. And that's something that even in so-called Christianity, with all of their hooping and hollering that they, you know, claiming that they, you know, love Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. But one of the main doctrines of Christianity is that, oh, the church is going to be gone when the MOTB is out. You know, the greatest test, right, of faith to show, they're saying that the church is going to be gone. But that doesn't even line up with the Lord actually being glorified, because why would the Lord take away, you know, the ones who are going to be the ones who shine during this time from the greatest test? Then that means everybody else would fail the test. So that's why it says in the book of Sirach that actually I think I have that pulled up as well. Not Sirach, Second Esdras 16 verse 74. It says, "Hear, O ye my beloved." Actually, you know what? I'm gonna start at verse 73. It says, "Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire." You see, because gold being tried in the fire is not to destroy the gold; it's to make it shine better. It's to make it actually stand out from all of the rest of the stones and the other materials. I believe Paul spoke about, you know, every man's work shall be tried to see what type of work it is, whether it be wood, whether it be stubble, whether it be hay. You know, and if it's wood, stubble, or hay, those things are easily flammable. They're easily burnable, right? But the ones that are of the precious stones, which the scriptures, you know, likens us, to the precious stones, they only get refined by the fire. They actually get purified. They actually shine brighter during the fire. That's why in Wisdom of Solomon 3rd chapter, it says that they shall shine like sparks among the stubble, right? So it says, say they should be tried as gold in the fire, and that's starting right now. Being the fact that we are able to, we have liberty, right? Or we have, you could say liberty to do whatever, so-called, speaking as a fool, do whatever you want to do, but yet we're using this time to actually be disciplined. We're using this time to actually to deny our own selves, because that's what everybody else in this world is using this time right now for. They're using the time of grace that the Lord has given us to do their own thing, to be more wicked, to feed the lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh. They're not using this time to say, you know what, let me deny myself, let me take up my cross, let me do the will of YAHAWASHI. Let me live my life to the best of my ability according to what the Lord wants. And if that means having to be ostracized, if that means having to be persecuted, if that means having to not have women, like us, if that means not having our family, like us, being the black sheep of our family, then so be it. But that's a trial, that's a faith. That's Peter said, the manyfold temptations, right? Verse 74, it says, "Hear, O ye my beloved, Dawadah, house of David, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same." And this goes, back to what Ayash and Allah was saying about, ultimately, if the Lord is telling us that he's going to deliver us from these things, then we really don't need to have any fear. All right. John said, what? Perfect love casts out fear. So when you are serving the Lord, which is the love is keeping the commandments, right? If you're serving the Lord perfectly to the best of your ability, then you don't have anything to fear. That's why Paul said, "Know ye not yourselves, at least you be a reprobate." If you can look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I'm trying, giving my all, and knowing that it's still knowing that it's not enough, but that you are someone that sincerely, truly, wholeheartedly loves YAHAWASHI, fears of the YAHAWASHI, then you don't really need to fear anything else. You don't need to fear the time of trouble. You don't need to fear the hour of temptation. That's why for us, these things happening are actually exciting. It's actually exciting to see the transformation of this world going to the digital dollar, the MOTB, everything being manifested. Although we know what it means, although we know that it may possibly mean that we're not going to be able to work, we're not going to be able to eat. We got families, we got, women that we may have to take care of, and they might be bugged out. But we know that ultimately, hey, the Lord is going to deliver us. And that's the actual exciting part, because we don't know how it's going to look. We don't know how that deliverance is going to be. But hey, the Lord, the Father is very dramatic, man. That's why he said with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, he could have easily just, got us delivered out of Egypt in one day. Nah, but he wanted to make it a show. He did. It took almost a year destroying Egypt. He made Pharaoh's heart harden his own will. Pharaoh could have probably wanted to take, let Israel go after the first plague. But the Lord said, nah, I'm gonna harden you some more. I got more things to do. So how much more now with this last captivity amongst Esau, who the Lord hates, man. So the Lord is going to deliver us in a mighty, in a marvelous fashion, to where, and we are hoping to be those vessels of mercy. So we have actually the best seat, in the house of the Lord's grand finale. Finishing up, it says, verse 75, "Be ye not afraid, neither doubt." You see? So there is nothing to be afraid of. Actually, being fearful, when you read in Revelation, the 22nd chapter, that's one of the things that's going to get you cast into the lake. It said, "But the fearful and the unbelieving, right, shall be cast into the lake that burneth with fire and brimstone." So you being afraid of these times that are coming, what is that going to actually make happen? That's going to make you take the MOTB. That's going to make you, fail the test. A lot of times people fail tests, going back to the school analogy, right? They fail tests because they're afraid. They're, you start panicking, you forget, you're forgetting things. You're like, oh man, I know this formula, but and your hands start sweating. Then you end up losing time. Like time's up. You put the pen down. You only on question 3. You're like, you're having a panic attack. That's why it says wisdom, knowledge, and understanding should be the stability at our times, man. Being calm, cool, and collected. Yahawashi said, what peace I leave unto you. That's the comforter. Okay? It says, be not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High is your guide. Okay? The Lord, Yahawah, Bashim Yahushai, is guiding us. Psalms, the 34th chapter, speaks about what? That the angels accamp about them that fear him. Psalms 91, that no evil shall befall thee, that he should give his angels charge over thee. So we got these things in our mind, knowing that, yeah, we have a great test coming, but if you study for the test and if you've been practicing, you've been reciting, you've been prepping, then you don't need to fear the test. So going back to Sirach 2 verse 1 and GNTD, my son, if you are going to serve the Lord, be prepared for times when you will be put to the test. And Yahawashi gave that example about the seed that were sown amongst the different positions, but it's only the ones that were sown on good ground. Those are the ones that withstand, the test of time, so to speak. Be sincere and determined, right? You got to serve the Lord in sincerity and in truth. Be determined. Have a determination. What is our determination? Our determination is to be the elect, all right? Our determination isn't to be, oh, you know what? If I make it, I'll make it. Nah, we're determined because we know the consequences of not being the elect. We know what happens if you like I said, if you don't pass this one test, let's say you on a fringe, right? And you got like one more test to go, and it's either you pass this test or you graduate, or you fail and you don't. You have to be determined that this is it. I gotta pass this test. I gotta do whatever it takes in order to pass this test because I want to be a part of that elect. You know that saying go when the saints go marching in. Oh, how I want to be in that number. Yeah, them singing that, they sing those songs, but they don't really do nothing to make themselves a part of that number, right? It says, give all diligence to make your calling and election sure. Okay, we're the only ones through the spirit and through the mercy of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai that are actually takes that actual seriously, man. We take that seriously of wanting to be the elect. There is nothing else in this world that is more important than being the elect of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. That's it. Because with that comes everything else. It says, keep calm when trouble comes. Stay with the Lord, never abandon him, and you will be prosperous at the end of your days. Accept whatever happens to you, even if you suffer humiliation, be patient. God is gold, Salaki, is tested by fire, and human character is tested in the furnace of humiliation. Trust in the Lord, and he will help you. Walk straight in his ways, right? Don't go to the left, don't go to the right, don't trim your ways to seek love. And put your hope in him. So that's self-explanatory. So I'll pass it.
Khan, believe I'm not. You said you had a point.
Cons, and I want to add a little to what the elder said about serving the Lord. Serving the Lord takes extreme discipline because we're denying what is considered normal in this world for the Heavenly Father. And there's one of my favorite sayings is damn, how can I just forget? Wait, hold on, let me search it up.
Can't be your favorite if you're forgetting it, brother.
Yeah, okay. I remember. Is pick your poison. Either suffer the pain of discipline or suffer the pain of regret. And they're both pretty painful because for discipline, you're denying what you're used to, and you're outside your comfort zone, trying to make that comfortable. But regret is also pretty painful because yeah, you may do what you want now and have fun or whatever, but later, that for like the 2/3 later, they're gonna find out shit, they're gonna regret all the decisions and all that, and that's I would say that's even more painful because like shit, and like there's also another saying that I like. excuses make today easy, but they make tomorrow hard. On the other hand, discipline makes today hard, but it makes tomorrow easy. So like the elect is preparing now, disciplining themselves now for the Lord, so that in Jacob's trouble we have an easier time. We have like an advantage over the rest. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, that's a very good point that you made, on discipline and regret, because when you really think about it, discipline is like paying for reward, because you're going through whatever it is in the moment, but it's so that you can better yourself or gain something out of it at the end. Regret, however, is pain that you're suffering for bad actions in the past. So you can't really go and change those things or the cause of your pain when it comes to regret. You just have to deal with it, and just there's nothing you can really do about it. But with discipline, you keep yourself going with the whatever is at the end. That's why the scriptures say, "Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof." So our mindset is at the end, like the Apostle Paul said, "I have a crown laid up for me." So that's why he wasn't even bothered. What did he say? He said, not even death, nor angels, nor anything of those things can separate us from the love of Yahawah YAHAWASHI. Because we're like machines, that the Lord has programmed. And at this point, especially, that every day that goes by, we get more and more turned up, more and more turned up, more and more turned up. And ultimately, when the Lord transitions this, because really we've been in the test the whole entire time. Since you came into the truth, since the Lord woke you up, you've been in the test. Every day is a test. Some days are harder than others. But now the Lord is going to take it to another level where your test ain't going to be about showing diligence and doing lessons and going out to the highways and byways. Your test is going to get more physical. Your test is going to be where you might go a certain period of time without somewhere to lay your head. You're going to have a lot more situations where you need to have faith, where your life depends on it, or the life of those that are with you depends on it, where people are looking to you for answers, and you have pretty much like Moses, you have no other choice but to rely on the Lord, because if the Lord don't come through for you, you're done. Like, these are the kinds of tests that we're now going to have to deal with, and that's why it's going to get hotter, especially when the MOTB comes out. You're going to need to have faith, just like you have faith, for those that stuck with the Lord during the time of the Vanessa and all of that. Guess what? We're here today, right? We ain't do it, but we're here today, and we're fine. We're not homeless. We're not out here sleeping on park benches. But people made it seem as though, oh my gosh, if I don't do this, my life is ruined for everything. And a couple months later, they realized that even their coworkers who didn't submit are in the same boat as them. You see, so that's that lack of discipline that they had back then, which led to them having regret now. Okay, but I got a quick precept, and that'll be my last precept. This is Matthew 10 and 22. It says, "And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake," which is also a part of the test. But and the Lord has mercy, right? Because the hate that comes from the world is not because of us. It's because of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. It's because of what we teach. Because if people did not hear, if somebody could be super cool with you, and then they found out you an Israelite, then they start treating you different or looking at you different. So it's not about you. It's about what you're standing for. That's why the Lord said they're going to hate you for my name's sake. But the Lord has it to where, like Atazom, you were saying, it's crazy how even those that are closest to us, the Lord has it to where they don't really, even know about this like that. They're not able to really see through the lens of what everybody else sees. Because if they could, they would hate us just as much as everybody else. But the Lord has mercy to where he's like, you know what? I know you're going to be hated, but I'm still going to make a way where you can bear it. Like being in the fire, like the three holy children, and yet you're not getting burnt. You're in the fire, but you ain't getting burnt, right? So it says, "And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved." And that's a part of the test. That's the ultimate goal of the test. This is how you pass the test. Can you endure unto the end? That means you have to endure all things.
Hey, Yahawah said the servant isn't greater than the master, right? Yahawah had to endure a lot of things throughout his whole ministry, but the greatest thing he had to endure was at the final end before he got the glory, which was what? That death by the cross. So that's the same thing that we gotta think about as well. But see, the thing is, with Yahawashi, he had to do it by himself. With us, we have Yahawashi. You know, we already know he was a forerunner. So when he got risen up, he said, "What? All power and glory is given unto me." He gave the prayer, said, "What? Let these disciples behold my glory." So now we already have a goal that we know that we are striving for, because he already accomplished it. So because he already accomplished it, we now know, okay, well, he got it. He said that we're going to be joint heirs. All we got to do is just do it as well. In fact, he died. He was risen up. He got raised up from the dead. So now we know that if we die, we can get raised up from the dead too. That's why these things were written. That's why it says these things were written aforetime. Everything that's written aforetime is written for our learning, so that through the comfort of the scriptures, we have hope. You see, if Yahawashi did all that, but it was never written, then we wouldn't really have any hope for it. That's why this is called the Book of Remembrance. That's why this is these scriptures are life, because it's through the reading of these scriptures, through the Holy Spirit, that we actually now have something to actually hold on to and hope for, you know? And that's why it's so important to hold on. Hey, Yahawashi said it, hold thou fast which thou hast, right? Let no man take your crown. There's nobody out here that can give you what Yahawashi is going to give you. So why would you let somebody take what he's going to take from you? Why would you let somebody take what he's going to get from you? You can't get it from Esau. He's lying, saying, you know, he can give you techno immortality, right? But that's all a lie, man. It's all a delusion. The only way that we gonna get immortality is by the one who has power to give eternal life. And Yahawashi said that he was given that power to give eternal life to as many as was given unto him, and that's who we want to be. You know, so that's all I got.
Hey, Khan, that's beautiful, because even Yahawashi said that he that believeth on me, right? So it's all about really having faith in Yahawashi, because he's already blazed the trail. We just got to walk it, you know, and walking it just as tough as it was for him, to the point where at the end he asked the Father, he said, "Lord, if it be possible, let this cup pass over me." We're going to go through moments like that where we're going to be asking the Lord, if it's possible, you know, let this cup pass over me, you know, but we always got to remember Yahawashi is with us, right? The Lord told Joshua, he said, be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, because fear is one that always cripples you, right? But if you have faith, it will always overcome fear, no matter what the obstacle may be. We've been through it, so we can attest to that if you have faith in Yahawashi, it will cripple that fear that you may have in whatever obstacle that is that you got to go through. Okay, and I got a few precepts here. I just run through them real quick, you know, and then, you know, we could close it out unless brothers have anything else to add on to it. All right, and this is all for the elect, really. All right, because the Lord put us here to lead the elect to the return of Yahawashi. Okay, this is a book of Isaiah, chapter 35, start off at 3. It says, "Strengthen ye the weak hands, and confirm the feeble knees." Verse 4, "Say to them that are of a fearful heart, be strong, fear not. Behold, your power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi, will come with vengeance. Even the Most High, with a recompense, he will come and save you." Okay, so Yahawashi is that Savior. That's his name. He the deliverer. So if you believe on him, then he's going to come in and do what he is supposed to do. By what? By a promise. Okay. This is a book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 10. It says, "Therefore, fear thou not." Okay, again, the emphasis on not fearing, because the things that we're about to go into, Esau is only going to win based on fear. It's really not that deep. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have that kind of power. His power lies in fear, right? If I can get these people to be afraid of this invisible enemy, then they're going to do what I say. Then they're going to believe that I can save them from this invisible enemy. Fuck that. All right, we have our faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi, and he's the one who's showing us all this anyway, right? 2 Corinthians 2:11 says that, well, damn, I always quote this precept, "For we are not ignorant of Satan's devices," right? So not being ignorant of something means that you have knowledge of it, and when you have knowledge of something, that fear is gone. When you know how things work, you're not really afraid of it. You're really afraid of things that you don't really know or understand, right? So Jeremiah 30 and 10, it says, "Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith the Lord Yahweh, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And this America is the biggest land of our captivity. All right, that's why you have the majority of the prophets are here in America, Babylon the Great. Okay, it says, and Jacob shall return and shall be in rest and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. All right, so again, the concept of fear. That's why you got these JJs out there pushing this. Oh, you're anti-Semitic if you preach the truth. That's a fear tactic. Look what happened to Kyrie Irving. He's afraid of the materialistic shit that he's gonna lose in this world, so he backed up. Right? All these different people. Listen, we're not in the same boat, bro. We got a different spirit. We're not coming for equality. We coming for a takeover, and that's one thing they're afraid of. Okay. Another quick precept, Jeremiah 46 and verse 27. It says, "But fear not thou, O my servant Jacob, and be not dismayed, O Israel. For behold, I will save thee from afar off, and thy seed from the land of their captivity." Right? And Jacob shall return and be in rest and at ease, and none shall make him afraid. So just like it says in Jeremiah 30 and 10, right? Another quick one, and I'm gonna end it off, unless your brother has anything else to say. All right, the book of Zechariah, chapter 8 and verse 13, it says, "And it shall come to pass that as ye were a curse among the heathen, O house of Judah and house of Israel, so will I save you, and ye shall be a blessing. Fear not," okay? Fear not, but let your hands be strong, okay? Be strong in who? In YAHAWASHI, okay? The one, through YAHAWASHI, the one who's sitting on the right-hand side of Yahweh, okay? The power hand, okay? He's going to bestow that same power upon his men, and that's the spirit that's going to be disseminated through the rest of the elect, okay? Because guess what? Faith is contagious, all right? If a brother doesn't have as much faith as you may have, all right, and he sees you do something, it's going to provoke his faith to build up, just like Yahushua showed Peter. Peter was like, "Oh shit, that's Yahushua." He said, "Lord, let me come over there. If that's you, you'll bid me authority so I can come over there to you." And Yahushua said, "Okay, so pull up." And Peter did, to the point where he noticed and realized what he was doing. He said, "Oh shit, I'm not really supposed to be walking on water. Here we go," And then he started to drown. And then quickly Yahushua, held him up. You see. So again, we're going to go through moments where we're going to feel invincible sometimes, right? Because we know we have the Lord with us. But then we're going to look over and we're going to see the multitude. We're going to be like, "Oh shit, man, we got to go through all this." And a human element might come in, but you got to kill that off with what? The spirit and the faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And we're going to make it through, man. Because it's already written. Like I said before, Yahushua has already blazed the trail. We just got to walk it, right? You're going to go through the oh shit, there's thorns here. You got to duck. There's mud here, you got to jump over it. It's like you got to swat the flies over your head. It might be dark, you got to, oh shit, it's, all these little challenges, But if you look at people in the world, you might break because they don't know what the hell is going on. And fear is what's going to grip them and they're going to fail. But if you have faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, we're going to go right through and we're going to meet Yahushai at the end and he's going to give us that big hug. And that's when we're going to be like, "Hey, we made it." You know what I'm saying? "Well done, my good and faithful servant." Right? So again, we have a goal. We have a goal in mind, and which is what? The glory of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So with that, pass it on to the next brother. Shalom.
I just want, like I said, I had two precepts. I had one just to back yours up. Being not ignorant of Satan devices, Proverbs 21, verse 12. The righteous man wisely considereth the house of the wicked, but the Most High overthroweth the wicked in their wickedness, right? And that's why what we do is so important, and this is how also another indicator of who the righteous and the true men of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is the ones who are always watching for what this devil is doing, right? It said the righteous wisely considereth the house of the wicked. So we're considering so much his house, we telling him what he gonna do before he do it. We all up in your crib. We in your refrigerator. We in the cabinets. We're like, "Oh yeah, you got that MOT video. Oh yeah, we see that. Yep. Oh that new thing coming down. Yep. That's gonna tie that to Songbird. We all up in your crib, And when you in somebody's crib, what is that? You finding out their secrets, man. That's what the Lord said. What he do is nothing, but he revealed his secrets to service the prophets on the left hand and on the right hand. So we can't. There's nothing to be really afraid of or this devil because we already up in your crib. We know what it is. We got our feet on your couch. Fuck your couch. That's an inside joke. You know, but hey, that's a righteous mindset, man. You know, that might be a lesson right there. But another one, going back to not fearing, right? Because fear really comes from being mortal. When you're in a mortal mind, in a mortal mindset, what can you really fear? You know, angels, they fear the Lord, the Heavenly Father, but other than that, they don't fear none of these mortal things that's going on in the world. With Second Ezra says 2 Ezra 14 verse 14, let go from the mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off the weak nature. You see, we're in this chains of darkness, but we are not actually what we see. We're not this flesh. You know, we are actually immortals living in a mortal body, living a mortal experience. So that's why the angel was telling, hey, the angels, when they came to the prophets, they were calling them brethren. The angels, they were immortals, but they were calling them brethren, right? Because why? We are also immortals. It said, beloved, now we call the sons of God. So sons of God, that with that title comes, you know, being an immortal. So we gotta the mortal thoughts come from the burdens of man, being in a carnal mindset, which is why the scripture says a carnal mind is enmity with the Most High, right? Peter, going back to your speaking about him walking on water, he walked on water because he, at that moment, he wasn't in a mortal thought. He was having immortal thoughts. He was having a mindset of, I'm not a man, I can walk on water. And then he realized, oh shit, I'm walking on water. And he started having mortal thoughts. And then what? That weak nature came. And when you have that weak nature, what comes with weak nature? Weak consequences. You know, you start experiencing life. He started experiencing being the burdens of man. Wisdom of Solomon 9 verse 14 is the last one. It says, so now that we know we are supposed to put off of the mortal thoughts, but it says here, for the thoughts of mortal men are miserable. That's what it says, and our devices are but uncertain, right? So the thoughts of these people in this world, they're miserable, which is why when the things of this world go haywire, shit hits the fan, they're going to be in a pitiful case. They're going to be in a mindset of, oh, what are we going to do? They're going to go down to Egypt for help. They want to try to preserve their mortal lives. And that's only going to add more misery unto them. 2 Ezra 16 chapter, they that consent to him be found in derision and trodden underfoot. Okay? The thoughts of mortal men are miserable. But the thoughts of the elect, the ones who are immortal, hey, we're at peace, man. You know, we are at peace with everything that's going on, because it's only from here on up, it's up. We're living here, and then we're, you know, all willing, we're thinking about not even ever having to taste death again, being changed, being transformed into a God. Hey, scripture tells you that going back to St. John the third, not St. John, 1 John the third chapter, we don't know that how we shall appear, but when we see him, we shall appear how he is. And we're in the NLT, it says we shall see him as he really is. Nobody's actually ever seen YAHAWASHI in the flesh as he really is, as the Son of God. He came in that body, in that mortal body. But when he comes back, it says, I shall not meet thee as a man. So we're going to see what the Son of God really looks like. And that in itself is just a what? Like, this is, when you see him, you're going to know, oh yeah, this is the Son of God. Nobody's going to have to say that. That's not going to be something that he has to go around and teach it. It's going to be, okay, yeah, that would be what the Son of a living God would look like. And then boom, we're going to get changed into that. You know, and that's an immortal thought that we got to have, you know, and that's what keeps us enduring it to the end. So, you know, that's it for me.
Gone. Beautifully said. But yeah, that's pretty much it on that. Like our brother said, with power and great glory, you know, and that's what's coming. Brother's got anything else?
So living rent free. God, yep, that's it. We are definitely living rent free in your crib.
That's it. That's right there. Beautiful. All right, cool. So, all right, brothers don't have anything else, I guess we can wrap it up. You know, beautiful points were made, and you know, may this sacrifice have been acceptable in the sight of Yahawah Basham Yahawashi, and may He increase us, and Lord willing, give us this faith to endure unto the end. So with that, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash, Wadi Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Wa Shalom, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Brakatam.
Shalom.
To the elect.
Yeah, Bashem Shabbat.
Shalom. Yahweh Shabbat.